It feels like it's somewhat of a low period for anime games right now. The biggest releases we've had recently were Naruto Storm 4 and Xenoverse 2, and of course we had Persona 5 this year as well. So it's not like there aren't any anime games for you to be playing right now, it's just there isn't a lot of stuff in the future to look forward to. But it's times like these where YouTubers like myself really need to dig deep, so I've contacted my most secret sources and came up with a list of 10 upcoming anime games. Some of these might be exciting, some others not so much. I'll let you decide. Announced somewhat recently was Naruto to Boruto Shino V Striker coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC, still with no release date. It's a team multiplayer game. 8 players will battle simultaneously in teams of 4, so it's a 4v4 game, combining jutsu, running around walls, and doing general ninja stuff that you see in the Naruto show. Not much is known at this point, but this is the next Naruto game, so fingers crossed for it to be good. Next up on the list we have Gundam Versus coming out for PlayStation 4. It comes out in Japan in July and it's coming to Europe and the Americas this fall. The Gundam Versus series isn't new, so some of you guys might already know this game. It's a multiplayer fighting game based on the Mobile Suit Gundam universe, one of the most popular series in Japan. Seriously, Gundam games over there, they are huge. And I guess that's why typically those Gundam Versus games are only released in Japan, but this one is actually coming over this fall. Bandai Namco is promising over 90 mobile suits, spanning more than 35 years of the Mobile Suit Gundam universe. At number 8 we switch from the fighting games to the RPGs. Ninokuni 2 The Revenant Kingdom is coming out for PlayStation 4 still this year with no specific release date, but they did say 2017. This is a sequel to Ninokuni Wrath of the White Witch, which came out for PlayStation 3, and that's kind of a shame because the game looks great overall, but I didn't own a PlayStation 3, so I never played it. And this seems to be a story-heavy game, and even though I am planning to jump into Ninokuni 2, I don't want to jump in the middle of a story. So that's my dilemma right now. Not much is known about Ninokuni 2 so far, but the first one lets you complete quests, it lets you free roam the overworld to explore towns, dungeons and some other places, and it used a very interesting battle system that lets you free roam at will to attack opponents from any angle while pulling some elements from the Pokemon series. You capture and use different creatures in battle. It's an interesting mix that feels unique, and I can't wait to see what they do with it in Ninokuni 2. Next up we have Axel World vs Sword Art Online Millennium Twilight coming out for PlayStation 4 and the Vita. The game's already out in Japan, but it's coming to Europe and North America on July 7th. It's an action RPG that crosses Sword Art Online with Axel World. Now, I'll be honest, I've never watched Axel World, so I don't know how excited people are about this crossover, but I do know people love Sword Art Online, in particular the games that came out recently. So I do know there's a big audience that loves these types of games. And so far, this is the only Sword Art Online game on the horizon, so I'm sure you guys are excited about it. At number 6, we have a game that we don't know much about. It's called Towaru Majutsu no Virtual On. Towaru Majutsu no Virtual On is a light novel series, a celebration of Denno Senki's Virtual On's 20th anniversary and a crossover between that series and the Towaru series. To accompany this light novel, a video game adaptation of the crossover was announced for PlayStation 4 and the Vita, coming out in 2018. We know virtually nothing about this game so far, except it will be a high-speed battle action game, whatever the hell that means. We don't even know if it's coming to the West. So far, its release date was only announced for Japan. But if it is indeed that big of a celebration, I can't see it not coming out in Europe and North America. Of course, Dragon Ball is so big that there's always another game on the horizon. This time at number 5, we have Dragon Ball Heroes Ultimate Mission X. Dragon Ball Heroes was an arcade game and it had several ports to the 3DS. Those games never made it to Europe or North America. They were released only in Japan, and this one seems to be no exception, though, you know, we can always hope. The game's already out in Japan, so if you want to play right now, all you have to do is have a Japanese system. But we anxiously await a Western release date or a Western release date announcement, because so far we don't even know if it's coming. That said, this is not your typical Dragon Ball game. This is a card-based game. You get cards which are the Dragon Ball characters, you use them to battle other Dragon Ball characters. It has an original story, it has some original characters as well, but they do need to start porting these games over to the West, man. At number 4, we have a big one, Kingdom Hearts 3. Coming for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One still No release date, it's unbelievable. This game has to show its face on E3 this year. Square Enix did a great job recently with packaging all the previous games for PlayStation 4, allowing all newcomers to experience the whole story before jumping into Kingdom Hearts 3. If they don't capitalize on it this year at E3, if they don't get people talking about Kingdom Hearts 3, that whole effort was just a waste. It's been 2 years since we actually saw gameplay from Kingdom Hearts 3, so the game might have changed quite a bit since then, but at its core, it remains the same, albeit with some improvements. The combat is an evolution of Kingdom Hearts 2, there's new traversal options, there's new Keyblade transformations, and the plot, of course, continues. It is still a cross between Disney and Final Fantasy characters weaved intricately into a massive story that we're just all very committed to, at least the fans who have played the first 2 games. And number 3, Bandai Namco recently announced a new VR experience called Evangelion VR The Soul Seat, which literally puts you in the pilot's seat in a battle against the angels. You wear a VR headset and you sit on a seat that shakes and vibrates and moves and does all kinds of crazy stuff. The game will debut in Bandai Namco's new VR zone in Japan this summer. We'll see about potential ramifications of this product. Personally, I think Bandai Namco could really crack open the VR space for these anime mech properties. VR seems perfect for sitting in a pilot seat and be completely immersed in that type of gameplay. So hopefully this is their first little test before developing an actual full VR game with mechs, be it Evangelion or any of the other properties, though Evangelion would probably be the right one to start with. And number 2, we have a new Attack on Titan game by Koei Tecmo, though however this one is very different from the previous one they launched. This is a visual novel, it's a very different type of game, and it's coming out for the 3DS. It was actually just released in Japan, but we're waiting to see if it comes out to the West, and it being Koei Tecmo, I'm sure we won't have long to wait before they actually announce the Western release date. So as I said, it's a visual novel, it features an original story with an original protagonist, and it's set in an old castle outside the city walls where it's very dangerous. Your goal is to escape this castle full of titans lurking around, alongside some characters that you see in the TV show or the manga. Unfortunately, no release date for us yet, we'll have to wait and see. But if you know Japanese, you can always play it on a Japanese system. And at number 1, we have another Attack on Titan game, though unfortunately you guys watching will probably never be able to play this one. It's called Shingeki no Kyojin, which is Attack on Titan in Japanese, Team Battle. It's an upcoming arcade game where the controllers look like the gear used in the series. It has a couple of triggers in the controllers themselves. One of the triggers is used to maneuver in the 3D maneuver gear, and the other one is used to attack. You have 2 reticles on screen, one for each hand, so you know where to point an attack or point the 3D maneuver gear and move in that direction. I don't know how well it controls, but people playing it seem to like it. Capcom is making this and they plan to add an online team battle mode, but so far it's only coming out in Japanese arcades, which is a shame because we have so few Attack on Titan games so far. I think we really need some more quality Attack on Titan games. This one, though, we won't be able to play it, most of us anyway. And those are 10 upcoming anime games. You guys let me know which ones you thought were interesting, and I know I asked for comments on every video, but this time it's really important, because if you let me know which games you think are interesting, that's gonna tell me which kinds of videos to make in the future, which games to cover. So do head to those comments and let me know. Your comment, your simple comment, could change the direction of this channel. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new here, and hey, maybe watch some of this stuff that we made already. I've been Gloku, thanks for watching, bye!